Welcome back, darlings. It's been 9 months since I installed Infinity Wax, Obsidian and Turtle Wax Flex Wax on half and half of my car. Now, if you watched this video, you'll have seen the first 3 months of that installation. It's been 6 months since the end of that now, and the car's been washed 6 or so times. I've captured all of those throughout that period. We're going to watch now and show you how the products have held up over that time, and ultimately what the end results are and my final thoughts. I'm going to have to say right now, I was absolutely amazed at what putting the water spot remover at the end by Garage Therapy, how much that brought it back. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll see what goes on. Let's jump straight into it then. This is Garage Therapy Foam V2 after about 5 minutes of dwell. This was the first wash after the end of the previous video, which I linked to earlier. It's also down in the description, as are all the products. This was mid-March, so it was about 5 or 6 weeks after the end of the previous video. And you can see that it was pretty scuzzy. What we're going to see here is the water behaviour from both the Obsidian on the right hand side of your screen and the Flex Wax on the left hand side. That's consistent throughout this video, by the way. And this is the post-wash rinse down. So you can kind of see they're both performing pretty quickly still. You might argue that the left hand side is a little bit slower, but that's also the one that gets a bit more abuse. That isn't necessarily staying that bad or that inconsistent throughout the video. There just must have been more grime because of the time of year. So it shifted it pretty well though. The washing detergent on this case was McKee's M914, which is the rinseless wash. I had it at 500 to 1 as I used it as a regular shampoo. And I found it was very good because it didn't leave any residue behind. And the boot was still pretty lively. This is a really good reference point actually, seeing how the boot changes throughout the video. I kind of see how much the beading drops off and then comes back in some cases. It's quite strange, and then it depends what products I'm cleaning with. Now we're a month later. This is mid-April, month 5. You can generally see like the level of grime that is still on the roads and therefore on the cars. It's pretty big in winter. I'm washing here with Auto Foam. This is the pre-wash, 4% PIR, and it's through the MJJC V3S this time. Got a review of that if you want to go and see that separately. This is the pre-wash rinse stage. Obsidian on the right, Turtle Wax on the left there. And they're still repelling. The shoulders up by the door handles still doing very well. This is a better test in a way, I think. It's a big flat panel on the bonnet. It gets a bit more abuse. So you can see they're both still sheeting pretty well. Definitely not beading as much at this stage, but this is just a pre-wash rinse, right? This is the post-wash rinse. So this time I did, God, that's a mouthful. This time I used FenLab Pure Rinseless at 500 to 1 because it's a fantastically good cleaning shampoo. One of the best, actually, I think. Even though it's the rinseless wash, down at that dilution, I use it as a shampoo. You can see the beading has come back, and the speed at which the water is sheeting away has increased, especially after the pre-wash. No better place to demonstrate this than rinsing down on the bonnet. And now you can really see kind of like from the wings how much they're beading, but the speed the water is sheeting away here is significantly quicker than it was earlier for the pre-wash rinse. Now, I mentioned earlier, keep an eye on the boot. This is the pre-wash rinse. It looks really, really flat, doesn't it? There's not much happening there. This is the post-contact wash rinse, and suddenly it's all back and functioning. So it just shows you how much ingrained dirt gets up on the boot. It's why it's not always the best reference point to how your protection's doing, although at the same time you might say if it's failed on the boot, it's on its way out anyway. So it's definitely doing all right here at month 5. Then we're skipping forward to the beginning of June, so kind of about 5 weeks later. Appreciate this footage isn't the best in the world. I'm using Garage Therapy Auto Foam at 4% PIR. There is the pre-wash rinse. This is the bonnet. It's really done well. And what surprised me is when the weather got warmer, and this is the post-contact wash rinse now, they all really perked up again. So there's less dirt getting on them in between the washes, which is an interesting thing. And the type of dirt is different at this time of year. I'm using the 60-degree fan nozzle there on the Ava. That's on the P57 Easy, which is a great pressure washer. I found that 60-degree fan is lovely for rinsing off. We're now jumping forward 2 weeks, so I've done a few washes quite close together now, and this is in the middle of June, or late June. Rinsing off the snow foam here again. I think that was like 3% PIR. I did the auto foam at that time, and I was using the MTM gun, the MTM foam cannon and their gun to rinse it off on this one. You can see, can you see? It's a bit hard. The beading is still there. Like it's doing pretty well. Again, like I said, since it's been warmer and the amount of dirt that's getting on the car in between the washes, and this is a closer or shorter period of time, the wash is really good. You know, the phase of what's coming off, like the behaviour of the products underneath, they're doing well. Kind of better than they looked like they were doing over the winter. I was kind of surprised that they were still performing as well as they did. This is the pre-wash rinse still. It is pretty slow on the bonnet though, isn't it? Like I feel like at this stage, after seeing the doors, I was expecting the bonnet to do pretty well. Well, did the contact wash then, and you can kind of see that it's really picked back up again. So it shows you the pre-wash does shift a lot, but the contact wash is still needed. So I guess there's this myth about a contactless wash. I'm not seeing it personally, and the bonnet is the best example, right? So we've got the Obsidian on the right and the Flex Wax on the left, as it has been all the way through this video, and they're both doing pretty well. Both cheating, both beading, both looking very lively. Whew, getting out of breath. Right, we've jumped forward another month. We're middle of July now, and this is auto foam going on, and I've been rinsed off with the 20-degree nozzle on the Nilfisk Excellent 160. This is just a pre-wash rinse. You can kind of see we're still getting some good beading, and we're getting some good sheeting still going on the bonnet. It's a good yardstick to remember. I think it's gotten better. This is pre-wash rinse again, and now we're shampoo rinse down. I can't remember what the shampoo I used for this one, but you can see that it's pretty rapid. It's beading and it's sheeting. Best seen on the bonnet here. I've not applied any other toppers or anything, because what's the point? It would have ruined the test. That's partly why I'm getting towards the end of finishing this now, because I want to apply other products, but I've been absolutely amazed at how resilient that has been. Similarly on the back here, this is again the post-contact wash rinse, and it's pretty lively. And I wasn't expecting it at all, because the back at some stages of this was really, really poor. I would say it's that bottom ledge is the bit that's kind of dropped off. Now for the final wash, Garage Therapy Foam V2 in there. You can see as I'm rinsing off just how dirty this was. This had jumped forward by about 6 weeks, but it also been parked under or near some trees that were depositing a lot of sap. So it was holding on to a lot of dirt. So this was the post-rinse or pre-wash rinse water behaviour on the bonnet. Because some good lighting at this time actually, which has helped. It's still hydrophobic, it's sheeting, but it's very slow, as you can see. So I'm going to go on and do a contact wash. This is Fireball pH 3, which is their acidic shampoo, and I'm using the Huygens sponge. I'm quite liking that. I need to do a more thorough review of it, and I'm working out how to get the most out of that sponge. But it's good. Is the shampoo any good? I don't really know. You're going to see in a minute. This being a pH 3 acidic shampoo is supposed to help unclog coatings, etc., etc. It does, but it feels really slick underneath there. But it doesn't seem to make an absolutely massive difference, as we're about to see when I rinse it off. So now I'm just rinsing off the pH 3 acidic shampoo, and you can see that whilst it has helped, I wouldn't say the water behaviour has leapt up. You can see in a minute that it really can change and be improved. I'm not surprised, but I think this, when you look at this thing, the coating is kind of done. Well, the sealant's done. They're both sheeting, they're not really beading all that much. Here though, I'm applying WSR, water spot remover from Garage Therapy, letting it dwell for a minute, and then giving it another wash down with the same acidic shampoo. So this really is being treated like a demineralizing agent rather than like a spot clean of water spots. But look at this. The water behaviour has kind of leapt back. So it just goes to show that even these kind of graphene ceramic sealants can get clogged, and you can treat them with this and it will help remove those contaminants and really improve their hydrophobicity. I can never say it. Don't know why I bother trying. But yeah, there we go. 9 months in, there's still some life to them, but I'm now going to remove them. There we go. I don't think you can say there's a clear winner between these two. And because of that, in terms of like longevity and how they're behaving, I would say they all felt pretty grabby by the end of it, until I put the water spot remover on, and then that really brought them back. So I imagine if I did that and the fallout remover, they would feel a lot slicker again, just because there's less bonded contamination on the paintwork. For me, overall, due to the ease of use, I would probably go with the Obsidian because it was far easier to apply. FlexWax has got the flexibility, as the name suggests, that you can use it wet and you can kind of use it as a rinse wax. I'd never do that, it's too expensive. And the other day, Obsidian was half price at Affinity Wax, so it was £12.50 for this bottle, and then it's a complete no-brainer. So watch out for some offers on that, they'll come up occasionally. That could well be worth it. Apart from that, yeah, both very, very good products. Does the graphene make a difference? Yeah, I don't know, don't think I could ever prove that. They're both pretty good sealants. It's worth noting that I don't do massive miles, and I'm only washing it on average once a month. And the reason I say that is every time you wash it, it is abrasive. Doesn't matter how careful you are and what products you're using, it is an abrasive process. So if you wash it every week, you're not going to get 9 months longevity because you're wearing it away every time you wash it. Likewise, if you wash it every couple of months, would you get much more than 9 months? I don't think so, because I think there's probably a hard limit as to where the products will be. It's still hydrophobic, as you can see, but it's getting towards being done. And ultimately, the reason I'm taking it off, or finishing the test now, is because I want to take it off and try some more products. I didn't expect them to last this long, so there you go. Thank you very much for hanging around. If you want to watch something else, go and have a look at this one, and I'll join you in the next one. See you then.